Hello, I hope this video finds you well. As many of you know, Mr. Dansbury is out for the rest of the week. So I am in for him and Mrs. Gavel. For those of you who have not been to school or met me yet, we are going to be doing a composite figure drawing. And I'm doing this because um, with the PSSA testing and we've just been doing a lot of testing format, but we're going to be getting back into 3D shapes or starting 3D shapes and getting out of 2D shapes. I kind of wanted to transition you. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I wanted to transition you out of testing mode kind of back into geometry. So I thought we could come up with like a fun way, and I work with another teacher who did this and the students seem to enjoy it. That being said, what I need you to do is you're going to be making a composite figure drawing. What that means is I have on here, this is in Google Classroom. You're going to watch the video that I'm currently making, and then I want you to click on this guidelines tab right here. This is going to come up with your rules, and we'll go over them in a moment. And then you're going to click on this, and this is going to come up with my example. So what is a composite figure drawing? You're going to come up, and I just used a ruler and created a little silly scene. So I want you can make Miss Sutsball, the other math teacher, she did like donuts in a little donut box. You can make a car. I saw students make like video games, like controllers. You can make it like desks, anything like you could do a flower with a circle in the middle and triangles. You can do anything. Just using some basic shapes. So I created a house and a pool. So what this means is the composite figure drawing. Your task is to create a scene using a variety of composite figures. Requirements. I want you to use at least 3 of the following shapes: a circle, parallelogram, and that is your rectangle, rhombus, and square, triangle, or trapezoid. So just use 3 of them. If you are like, shoot, I don't remember the formulas, guess what? I put them all down here. Here's a little cheat sheet. So here's all your formulas because we're finding the area. So I want you to use at least 3. On mine, I used my circle here for my inner tube in my pool. I used a rectangle for the pool and for the house. I used a parallelogram for the roof, a triangle for the roof, and a rectangle here for the house. So just use at least 3 of those 4 shapes. Then I want you to label each dimension: your base, your height, your radius. So here's my base of the house, and I just made it up. You can use a ruler if you want actual measurements, but in real life this is not 8 yards, but I just said it was. Base here, 4 yards. So if this is 8 yards here, it's going to be 8 yards up here. Same as up here. And then like my height, this was 5.5 yards. So this would also be 5.5. This would be 5.5. And then for my triangle, I used, like here, I used also like the 1.5 yards as your height. And then for my pool, this is 8 yards here. This is 5.5. And I just did that. They're the same. It's easy math. Oh, and then my inner tube. So I did the diameter. So I'd have to find the radius, which is half. So when doing that, then so you can make up your own measurements, or you can actually measure them to determine. And then I want you to calculate the total area and show your work. So you're going to need to put the formula and then substitute in the dimensions and then calculate the total area. So it's all 3 parts, just like what we were always doing in class, the 3 things: the formula, showing the work, the calculation, and then creative and colorful. It's supposed to be fun, just to get us back into geometry. If you are on this page and for some reason need to see my example, I also linked it there. And again, here's your cheat sheet. So after you draw your pictures and you get all of that done, I did the pool, the inner tube, and the house. If you just want to do a house, you can choose. I had fun doing it. But then like my rectangle, the area was length times width. Then I substituted, the length was 8, the width was 5.5, and 8 times 5.5 was 44 yards squared. The inner tube, I have 2 circles because I have the actual inner tube, and then the inside, I have to subtract that because it's a hole there. It's not there. So the area for a circle is pi r squared, so 3.14 times the radius, which is half of your diameter, squared. So for the first triangle, I actually put it over, no, I did put it here. I did 3.14 times 2.75 because that's half of my 5.5 squared, and that equals 23.8. Then when I had to calculate the inside here, again, pi r squared. So I did 3.14 times 0.75 because that's half of my 1.5 feet squared, and that's 1.8. So then I had to take my 23.8 and subtract 1.8, which leaves me with 22 feet squared. Oh, that should be a point in there, 2.2. There should definitely be a point in there. Not 22, 2.2. That's why it is important. I have it here. That's why it is important with those decimals. So the area of my inner tube is 2.2 feet squared. And then for the house, I have 2 rectangles because I have one here and one here. And that's length times width, so 5.5 times 8. So I put that there. And that equals 44. And this one here is 5.5 times 4, and that equals 22. And I'm going to add those together. And then my parallelogram up here is area times base times height. So that's 8 times 2.5. And then that's going to equal 20. And then my triangle here is half times base times height. And that is half times 4 times 1.5, because 1.5 for the height of my triangle, and that equals 3. And then I need to add up my 2 rectangles, my parallelogram, and my triangle. When you add them all up, the house equals 89 yards squared. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I open my email in Google Classroom. And let me know if you need anything. All right, bye.